Speaking of telephone, Forrest, I think your phone's ringing right now.
Oh, excuse me 1 second.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, is this Forrest Galante
It
from
is indeed.
Film and Television?
Yep. World renowned, one and only.
Hey, my name's Todd. I'm calling from US Fish and Wildlife.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, I gotta go. I'm on a call with U.S. Fish and Wildlife.
Just take
Um.
it. Just take it.
Okay.
Hang on.
Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey man, so we've got this problem, and I want to get your input on what we should do.
Okay. All right.
You familiar with the barred owl?
Yeah. Relatively beautiful animal.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Here's the problem. It's a very aggressive owl, and we're having an invasive species problem with this barred owl. It's wiping out up to 80% of native owl species in certain parts of America.
Okay, that's very interesting. Please go on.
Anyway, so I just got approval to just. I'm just gonna be honest with you. We need to kill 500,000 of these barred owls.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's how many. It's about half of the invasive population of barred owls. We got about 1 million invasive barred owls that are just wiping out other types of owls around the U.S.
Interesting. Well, they are, they're well known as a very aggressive owl. I didn't, however, know that they were invasive, given they are native to North America. I'm curious to know more about what they're doing, what their problem is.
Yeah. So the problem is the spotted owl just can't. It just can't compete, and the barred owl has moved into spotted owl territory.
Interesting.
I got to get rid of 500,000 of these
Half a
owls.
million. So, in other words, the barred owls are moving north, and that's creating a problem for the spotted owls. Now, the bigger question is here: what have we human beings done to make it so that the barred owls now have to move into a different territory and compete with an animal they previously were not? That being said, I'm guessing we need to come up with a solution.
We do. So man, I'm gonna break character here.
Okay.
Go on a fucking rant.
Yeah.
So we
Let's
so
go.
what do we know that's killing owls, and what are humans doing that's creating massive problems for owls?
Poisoning, like rat poisons,
Mm.
dog poisons,
Let-
deforestation is a big part of it. Habitat loss. I think those are the two main ones.
So I have a gopher situation. It's been ongoing.
Hmm.
I live in the state of California, which is supposed to be like the super progressive state, environmentally
All
conscious,
lies.
right?
It's all lies.
I am. So, what would be the best way for me to take out these gophers that would just not cause any major waterfall effect?
Pellet gun.
Your revolver.
Pellet
I'll
gun.
go to jail. I'll go to jail. You know what the
Correct.
state of California, you know what I have to do in LA County to get rid of gophers?
What's
Put a
that?
massive amount of rodenticide down.
Yeah. Which can kill your
Poison
cat,
them.
your dog, your children, any birds of prey. Because, by the way, this is important to know. When you poison a gopher or any of those burrowing animals, they typically come to the surface. That's what they do. So
Right.
now, not only have you put toxic chemicals and poison into the ground, now, if ingested by the target animal, which it could be ingested by many other things before that, if
Of
ingested by
course.
the target animal, it comes to the surface typically to die, where your dog, your cat, anything else can bioaccumulate that. Your kid could be running around out there, the neighborhood cat, anything can come and eat it, and then they will most likely.
Probably
Yeah,
also a
and-
very painful way to die.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
literally
poisoning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you throw,
horrible
you
way to
throw
die.
up until you die. Like
Yeah.
you basically turn your insides out.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it's like what
terrible.
was this? I remember we did the stat when we had the owl lady on the podcast,
Yeah.
but it's like 96% of owls in North America have rodent poison in their
Right.
tissue samples,
Right.
and yet I can't go out with a fucking pellet gun in California and
No,
just
it's insane.
plink a couple gophers.
Yeah. It's insane. I
Instead,
mean,
I'm allowed to spread as much poison as I want
right.
to take the gophers out.
It's wild, dude. I mean, it's crazy.
It's utterly insane. I mean, you've done the rat hunts in my garden, which is probably also illegal. I mean, I don't think Santa
Right.
Barbara is as strict as LA, but yeah, we take the pellet guns and go out, and the rats are all over our chicken coop that can spread disease and everything else.
Right.
And that's the only way. If we put poison down, we'd kill half the animals on my property for sure.
Yeah.
So-
it's wild. So
All right,
how
so-
are they talking about culling these owls? Is that what they're talking about
Well,
doing?
look, I
Yeah,
got a major
obviously.
problem here. I'm back to being Todd now.
Okay.
Forrest, you're a wildlife biologist. You understand how these things work. It's kind of a big job. I mean, killing 500,000 of these invasive owls. How would you suggest I mean, look, the reason I'm calling you is because I saw when you built the meat tree,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is the kind of creative brain that I need on this problem.
Don't forget also solve New York City's rat problem.
That's
That's
right.
right. You're
Yeah.
the rat
Yeah.
czar.
The rat
By
czar.
unleashing cats.
That's right. Fixed
Yeah.
cats. Um, man, look, I, I don't know, to be honest, how you kill 500,000 owls. I mean, I would guess the state would probably put in some kind of either a bounty where you turn in, an owl head or an owl talon or something like that. And once you do that, you get $5, you get $10. They're gonna choose to use shotguns and pellet guns and things like that because you can't really bait an owl, you can't really trap an owl. You have to go out at night, spot them, and then shoot them out of the trees, which seems it's easy to do. It's not easy to do for a million or a 500,000 of them. And it's just sort of shitty. Like I don't know how else to put it. It's
Yeah,
one
it
thing to
sounds
go
terrible.
Yeah, it's one thing to go shoot a gopher or a rat, that's destroying your lawn or in your garden. It's another thing to go and take out owls. Like I can't imagine getting a permit or paying or doing a bounty to go and shoot an owl. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
dude.
It's just like it sounds heinous to
Can
me.
we pull up a picture of the barred owl? I've never seen what one of these looks like. Is it? Oh, so this is like your basically standard owl that you
Yeah, pretty
see
much.
everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, like the wise old owl that's in books.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is
it's
like-
the spokesman for Tootsie Pops.
That's right.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
That's it.
That's exactly what the plan is that basically people will be able to apply for owl hunting permits.
That's
And they're
sad,
going to
man.
permit staggered, like 20,000 the first year, 20,000 the second year, and it'll be mandated that you use a large bore shotgun to
Yeah.
kill.
Well, it
the
makes sense
owls.
because pellet gun. You're just gonna maim them with other stuff. Kyle, go back to that picture you just had up a second ago. Let me tell you the problem right here. Okay, look at that. So on the left, you're looking at your barred owl. On the right, you're looking at a northern spotted
Yeah,
owl.
exactly.
You're telling me that Joe Farmer, guy who isn't a bird expert or hasn't studied or isn't, whatever, hasn't spent a lot of time around owls, is not going to mistake one for the other of those two?
Dude, 100%
I would.
right.
I would.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. If I saw that in a tree
100%.
at 40 yards at night with a light, and I
At
had in
night.
my head at night, and I had in my head I'm out hunting barred owls. If I saw the northern spotted owl on the right, I'm almost positive I'd shoot it because I'd be like, oh, there's one. Because
Dude.
your already thought process is that you're looking for that animal. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
You're already like locked in thinking I'm hunting barred owl. It's just like it's definitely going to result in spotted owls being killed.
Dude, that is I mean, there's no difference in the coloration. It is such a minute difference between barred owl and spotted owl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and then added, I mean, first of all, it's in a tree, so
Right.
it's blocked by foliage and branches.
Yep.
I mean, when we were looking for the woodpecker, I got fooled. I thought I saw
100%.
an ivory bill, and then I was like, we had to go like frame by frame on the video
Yep.
to rule it
Exactly.
out.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no chance, dude. At night with a spotlight, like without question, there's going to be a bunch of spotted owls that are getting axed too.
It's an interesting thing. Like I need to look into it a little bit more. I need to understand what's going on with the spotted owls. Like why is this a problem? Why are the barred owls moving in? Why are they displacing them? I don't know much about this. It's not something that we're dealing with in California as far as I'm aware. So I mean I need to read up on it, but it just seems like it's one of those things that you already know it's going to be a disaster. You already know it's probably not going to make the difference that it needs to make. It's like a desperation play by Fish and Wildlife. It's like, fuck, what are we going to do? We're losing spotted owls. What are we going to do here? What's our desperation play? Oh, let's get farmers to shoot them, right? Or hunters to shoot them. Well, it sounds good in theory, like when you lay it out like that. But when you look at the differences, when you sort of don't understand it, it just doesn't sound like a good solution to me. A better solution, in my opinion, would be to have like a managed forest, like just one managed forest or a couple managed forests where Fish and Game themselves have trained shooters and trained experts, and your dollars are going into this either way, and they are focusing on keeping all barred owls out of that zone. So you have an insurance colony, a head starter population, an area that can't be logged, and that they're not going to make mistakes, and then you sort of let nature wax and wane and take its regular progression. So maybe a million barred owls come in, maybe it displaces most of the spotted owls, then the barred owls leave because there's not enough prey, and then the spotted owls come back. You know what I mean? It's like you let nature's ebb and flow take place while always maintaining one insurance colony. To me, that sounds like a better strategy than just like, hey, let's go out and blast these owls with shotguns. That'll do the trick. Just like it just doesn't seem like a
No,
very well thought
especially
out
with
thing to
the
me.
similarities and the way it
Right.
looks like other owls. I mean, it's just there's just no possible way that a regular person who just wants to shoot owls is going to know the difference or care.
I would think that. But anyway, that's interesting. And it's also interesting because it's something I don't think we've often spoken about on this pod is like invasive native species, right? So
Mm.
it's not again the real trigger here is like why are the barred owls, and maybe Kyle can find this while we're talking, but why are the barred owls moving into spotted owl habitat? Why is it worse now than it has been for 1,000 years, or whatever before this? Like what's happened? Because it's not like humans brought barred owls over and were like, go free. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
that's an obvious reason, right? We know why Burmese pythons are a problem in the Everglades. I don't understand why barred owls are now a problem for spotted owls when they weren't historically.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't- there's got to be a reason. I wonder what. Never mind. Edit.
It's
Take that
just
out.
yeah, it's just every time this happens, I just think about the New Zealand thing, and I know I've brought it up before, but it's just like it just feels like we just never really get it right. Like as
Right.
long as we're destroying habitat, like all of these little band-aids are just gonna, you're
Exactly.
plugging one hole in the ship with a piece of bubble gum and three more are gonna
Exactly. Exactly.
Sure.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's tough. And who knows? I hope, by the way, I hope that I'm wrong and we're wrong. You know what I mean? I hope that they're like, this worked perfectly. Barred owls are gone from this area. Spotted owls are increasing. Like, I hope that I'm totally wrong. It just sounds to me like one of those sort of harebrained desperation plays that's
It
just not going to
it's
shake out.
it is interesting. Edwin just put a stat in there, and that um, basically barred owls had encroached on 2% of spotted owl sites in 1990, and in 30 years, it's gone up to 50%
Oh,
of
wow.
spotted owl habitat now has barred owls. So something has happened in the last 30 years that has caused a massive migration.
And it says here, some scientists blame the influx of barred owls on climate change. Now, there's obviously some data to support that, but what is that? You know what I mean? That's always. And by the way, it's not like I'm a climate change denier, but it's like that's always the scapegoat, isn't it? It's like it's always
Because
like,
it
oh,
can't be
that's why.
fixed because
Like
there's
that.
nothing to do about it. Like,
Well, and it also doesn't put blame on any one thing or one
right.
person or, it's much easier to say blamed on climate change versus saying, hey, we decided to build the city of Detroit in the center of their, range. And,
Sure.
and now they've moved away from there. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. It's like, what is the data to support that climate change has made barred owls move or increase or whatever? I don't know. It's interesting. I need to read up on it, but yeah,
Let's
crazy.
let's light